I'm absolutely positive that I'm not the only one who feels like when watching Cobra Kai, what's the most badass scenes in the entire show? It's with this guy. And I really feel like over the last couple of seasons, we haven't really felt the effects of Hawk. And I know many people feel the same through the conversations I've had with everyone and what the fandom has had to say in regards to Hawk. I'm not worried about the buffing or the nerfing. Like, I don't really care about that. I just feel like in terms of as a character, he just hasn't really been present. He's just been kind of there as the player to sort of do the karate, if you will, but he hasn't really had a meaningful moment in, I'd say, 3 seasons. And you could say, well, he won the All Valley in season 4, which was a meaningful moment. I'm not saying that it isn't, but I think again, I want to focus away from tournaments just as a character. I feel like we haven't seen too much of him. And I really feel like now, based on the setup from part 1 with Dimitri and the confrontation between the binary brothers about MIT and who's going where and, the clash that they had, I have gone on record and said that that's probably the most heartbreaking fight that they've ever had, primarily because in the past, it was all dojo war this, dojo war that, petty rivalry thing here, this, that, whatever. And yeah, there's been arm breaks in there and things like that. But I really feel like while watching that scene with Hawk and Dimitri going at each other's throats, I got a bit misty eyed. I was like, these are two friends, these are brothers that are fighting each other. And one moment I did pick up on was, I'm sure we all did, when Dimitri puts him in an armbar and says, "How do you like it?" It's like Dimitri's getting a taste. He's getting a little bit of a whisker of the dark side within him and what he can do when he stops, staying in his own way. And then the conversation with Yasmin just prompted him into like a fifth gear. And I think Hawk gave him way more motivation. Now, did say in my Kwon video that Dimitri and Kwon have a very similar arc going on in the sense that, cocky and disrespectful. The difference is Kwon backs it up, as Kree says, Kwon backs it up with his skills and his strength and his determination. Dimitri, I got love for you, but you're not going to last 5 seconds against Kwon. That's just not happening. Now, the underdog always has a shot. Dimitri may get a hit or two in. He may even get to 2 points. He may surprise people. But I'm feeling in my gut, and I've had this feeling ever since the trailer dropped, and all of our suspicions have been since confirmed. Dimitri is in line to get his head taken completely off. And the reason that feeds into Hawk's arc, I want to see Dark Hawk make a return. I love balanced Eli. I love well-rounded Eli and whatnot, but it would be kind of sweet. It would be cool just to have Dark Hawk come back just for a one-off. And per the red eyes that I've given him here, I think it would be so Killer Instinct to remind people Kwon is about it. That dude is on job. But let us not forget, when Robbie taps into the dark side, he's dangerous. When Miguel taps into the dark side, he's dangerous. When Hawk taps into the dark side, he's borderline a killer. You're like, honestly, that moment in season 3 where he takes Brox's head completely off his shoulders, I want to see Hawk get a moment like that. Because I feel like as much as I love Miguel and Robbie, the minute you take Dimitri out, you've made it so personal. You have made it extremely personal. And I've talked a lot about Hawk getting disqualified for the right reason. Echoing back in season 1, he gets disqualified for the wrong reason. This time, he gets disqualified because maybe he does some serious damage to Kwon, and that sets Miguel or Robbie up or whoever for the win. I want to see Dark Hawk make a return, and I know other people do too. You don't bring him back fully, because then we start going down season 2, season 3 territory. I just want to see a moment where he channels that dark side within him that we know he has. And me and many of the Kings and many of, Cobra Kai fans as well have talked about this. How poetic would it be that even though Miyagi-Do is for all intents and purposes going to win in the end, how poetic would it be that they win using Cobra Kai's formula? There's going to be a moment where Robbie embraces his Cobra Kai teachings. There's going to be a moment where we see Miguel tap into that season 2 dark side that was flirted with. I want to see Hawk make a comeback. I want to see Hawk absolutely throttle someone. And I think it's the best way to really get him over with people, to remind people, yeah, Hawk's still about it. Because as much as I love Kwon, I feel like everyone's overrating him now. Like, he's great and he's awesome and he soloed those guys with ease. Let it not be said, we have grown with Hawk across the entirety of this show. The underdog always has a shot. And make no mistake, Hawk is a champion as well. You can slice it however you wish. The Miguel, his back kicked in, Robbie was distracted. You can slice it whatever way you wish. Eli is still a champion. And he is in and around the same level of Miguel and Robbie. And when he taps into that mode where he's focused and he's dark side, no one's stopping him. The only people who are capable of stopping him are on the same side as him. I think it would throw Kwon completely off if Eli was the one person that he's not focused on that taps into that dark side and takes his head clean off his shoulders. And I think it would be an ironic twist of fate. You do it to Dimitri, all right, I'm going to do it to you. I think there's so much to... But I would actually be worried for Kwon in this tournament, to be honest, people, because Kwon is a character that has no mercy. He's unrelenting. He doesn't care. He has no qualms about who he steps on or who he steps over. He doesn't distinguish between the one he hunts and the one who's going to get in his way. Dimitri is 100% going to get in his way. Dimitri's 100% going to go down. Not die, but he'll go down. And it will be left up in the air, whether he'll have like a Miguel coma type of thing. You've then made it personal for Hawk, Robbie, and Miguel completely, especially Hawk, and especially given the rocky road that the both of them are on going into the Sekai Taikai. Dimitri's not talking to him. Dimitri's talking a big game. He's getting ahead of himself. And while it's great to see Dimitri have that confidence in himself, sometimes you got to look in the mirror and just know your level. Dimitri is not on the level of Hawk and beyond. He's just not. And it's going to be to his own detriment. He's going to get cocky. He's going to get ahead of himself. He's going to get in the ring with Kwon. He'll get a hit in for sure. And I think Kwon is going to absolutely batter him. And it's going to be hard for all of our characters. It's going to be hard for us to watch. But in universe, it's going to be hard for the characters to stand by. They can't interfere and watch as Dimitri gets absolutely battered. Especially Hawk. Hawk is someone that has done that pain to himself. So to see it from the outside looking in and not being able to do a damn thing about it, it's going to give him the fuel and the motivation he needs to take this guy out. Now, in that, everyone's talking about Robbie and Miguel winning the Sekai Taikai. Don't rule it off the table. Hawk could, it's doubtful, but Hawk could still win it as well. If the fight goes outside, I would put, if I was a betting man, which I'm not, I would put a great load of money on Hawk to be absolutely decimating Kwon outside. I feel like Hawk has taken a backseat to so many of the characters over the last couple of the seasons because there's so many characters to manage. It's such an ensemble cast now. You can't really give the spotlight to everyone. I think this would be a great moment for him. And this would be a redemption on all that he's done to Dimitri. And I remember talking about this on the most recent stream I did with the Kings. So shout out to them. Dimitri forgave Hawk very easily. Now, it's a testament to Dimitri and how good of a person he is, but he forgave Hawk like that. Easy, just forgave him, you know? And you got to be the bigger person, sure. But he forgave him too quick to the point where it's like, on a bad day, if Hawk says the wrong thing to him, Dimitri can use it as ammunition, which is exactly what he's now going to do. And I'm not looking forward to the moment when Dimitri goes down in that ring. But the one thing I am looking forward to, again, this may not happen. I'm just putting it out there. But I want to see Dark Hawk come back. Even if it's just for a scene, just for an episode, just for a fight. Just to hear that old school Dark Hawk theme that was so ominously present in the early seasons. To show how far he's come. Yes, he's balanced and we love balanced characters. But I think there's so much emphasis at the moment on, yes, you can be balanced and always take the high ground, but sometimes, like anything, you need a bit of dark side in your life to truly be balanced, and I would like to see it. So guys and girls, jump in the comment section down below. Let me know if you agree with anything that I've said. Do you want to see Dark Hawk make a comeback? Not forever. It completely undoes his character arc there if he comes back forever. Just in little pockets, little moments, he taps into those teachings that he's learned to absolutely wipe the floor with Kwon. Now, could it happen? Probably not. Kwon's going to kick his ass. But it would be kind of cool just to see Dark Hawk get a little kick in there just for old time's sake. You know, just for old time's sake. I'm just throwing it out. Just throwing it out there. See you guys in another video soon. And I was going to end with a quote then from Hawk, but I've completely butchered it. I had a memory in my head then of watching season 2 and him slamming the doors open and chasing Dimitri in the school like a serial killer. That scene was